Hello, everyone. It is I, Dr. Reggie here, and I'm in orbit here above the Earth, just kind of looking down, and I'm reminded of Carl Sagan once referring to our world as this pale blue dot. And and when you look at it, it really is just this one small blue speck floating among billions of stars out there. And when I think about all the strife that we have on this planet unnecessarily, it really breaks my heart. Um, the human species is capable of so much, yet we choose war over compassion. We choose personal attacks over trying to understand the other side. We choose spying and underhanded methods to get information out of others instead of just communicating and having diplomacy. It's this concept of the other, I think, that keeps rearing its ugly head. The idea that there are these other groups that are so different, so distinct, so antithetical to my own being, that we have to ostracize them in some way, admonish them, demonize them, put them in a convenient box that we can easily attack. And it is unfortunate that we have politicians and people in power on this planet that take full advantage of this. They invoke fear in many people that that other group is the enemy. They are they have successfully polarized us, believing it's us versus them. So deeply have they ingrained this thought in us that for many, they can't see hypocrisy. What you would not allow for one group, they easily allow for their group because they feel like they're right. They're somehow vindicated or they're in power. This is wrong. It should be clear that this is wrong. It reminds me of people who support artists who abuse others, or sports figures who have proven that they are not worthy of their respect. But because they're part of the team, be part of the group, they just give them a pass. Unacceptable. We need to call it out, call people out, and say what it is. We need to be honest if we made a mistake. I used to have this belief, but I'm beginning to see that I don't agree with all these things and speak up about it. Some of us are too afraid of being ostracized by our families and friends, or falling out of favor of the group that you once held dear. You don't know how to stand up for yourself and say enough. It's not about you being on one side or the other. That's the trick they're trying to get you to do, so you vote the way they want you to vote, so that you believe the way they want you to believe. It's not about that. It is about truth, honesty, reality, doing what you know is right, deep inside that rational brain of yours. It just doesn't make sense. Again, we have so much potential on this planet, and yet we choose war, destruction, evil. If you know what's wrong, say something. And we treat other animals on this planet so horribly as well. I mean, well, no wonder. If we can't even treat each other well, how are we going to treat innocent animals well? I mean, these are sentient, innocent. Many of these beings, they feel fear, they can feel pain, and yet we brutalize them, mutilate them, drive them to extinction, throw their carcass on a grill and celebrate it. Well, if we can't respect life at that level when something clearly is afraid and feels pain, why would we even respect other humans if we can view them as so different that they're not like us either? I think that's one of the problems also. We need to start inculcating a society of curiosity, critical thinking, and empathy. And there are many more things, of course, that can add the cherry on top that we need also. Of course, scientific knowledge, the process, understanding the process of how science works is also important. Health information. We need a society that turns against those that give us information that is demonstrably and harmful. Demonstrably wrong and harmful. We need to push this. We cannot continue to think it's okay in this context to do these things to people just because they're different than us. We can't keep celebrating one small act of good among a sea of injustice, harm, war, and evil that we allow for years. And then one little thing happens and we celebrate as if everything else was erased. It was wrong from the get-go. It should never happen again. But yet, we still see horrible events happening to entire populations of people. And they justify it. And then in 10 years, it's like you have a new generation of people where the reset button's hit. And we just do the same thing all over again. Oh, these people are this way, we're going to blow them up. Oh, these people think this way, we're going to blow them up. Or these people have these things, and we don't, we're going to blow them up too. Oh, wait a minute. Let me lie to the people first and tell them there's some other reason why I want to take over this country, right? So frustrating, everybody. Treating people well is really not that difficult. Being kind. And, in understanding. Have you ever thought about these terms such as conservative, liberal, black, white, communist, socialist? These are just terms that groups use to attack someone else, to put them in an easy group. It's a nice and convenient group because then they become a target you can throw a dart at. But the reality is most of us have a combination of many different ideas. We don't really all fit neatly into a box, but when they've convinced you that you do, again, you're going to do everything in your power to maintain being a part of that group because that has become your identity. Oh, well, I'm a conservative. I'm a religious conservative, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. And as soon as someone attacks your group, well, he didn't really mean that. Excuse me? Yes, he did. That's exactly what he meant. And he said it like 80 times before. This politician you support or this special interest group you support, their spokesleader, you have to call it out for what it is and stop defending it because it's part of your group. I don't understand why that is so difficult for people. Well, I know why. It's because you made it part of your identity. And when you make things part of your identity, then it's hard. It feels like a personal attack. So if someone attacks someone that's part of your group, you take it personally, like it's an attack on you. But it's not. If someone told me, hey, Dr. Reiji, Aeon committed murder on Klaxon 5, I'm not going to immediately just say no and then attack that person, give me the information. My first thought is to say, what is your evidence for this? because that is the more rational, scientific way to do things. Now, of course, would it be upset? Obviously. But we need to slow down. Misinformation and disinformation is becoming more and more ubiquitous than ever. And thanks to AI, it's going to be even more difficult to discern and differentiate between what is real and what's not anymore. If we don't have the skills or develop the skills that help us think more rationally, critically, to slow down and analyze data, ideas, concepts, claims, if we can't do this, we're in trouble. I already have colleagues who tell me they don't even know how to differentiate what's real or not anymore. That brings a tear to my eye to hear this. Where were you when the world was changing? Were you not keeping up? And apparently they weren't. And I'm not an expert. It doesn't take expertise to know when you're being duped. It just takes slowing down a bit. Verify that claim. You have to also be humble. Admit that you could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about this. And it just goes full circle, because then you go back to verify again. If you consider that you might be wrong, you can look for more contrary information instead of always looking for information that confirms what you believe. Look for information that is against what you believe first. So you verify, you're humble, and when you get that new information, you must adapt and change your thinking. You have to be adaptable. If you refuse that, well, you're just being intellectually dishonest now, because all the evidence in the world showed you that you could be wrong or that you are wrong, yet you decide, nah, I'm going to keep on believing what I want to believe. That's just not right. Verify, be humble, adapt. And there's also metacognition. You have to think about your own thinking. What led you to think that this is correct? How do you know that what you're thinking is true or wrong? You have to think about these things. Why did I think that this information I received via email or on social media was correct from the get-go in the first place? These are tools you can start using to evaluate the world better. And empathy, love, and sharing, and giving, all of those things are just icing on the cake. But we need them. We need those things. And even if you don't love everybody, at least treat people as well as they would like to be treated within reason. Not everybody's going to be like you. Not everyone's going to like what you like. The golden rule doesn't apply anymore. The platinum rule is in effect, or should be in effect. The golden rule was treat others as you would like to be treated. No. We should treat people as well as they would like to be treated. The platinum rule. Anyway, I think I've said enough after just looking at too much media today, and I shouldn't have. I got a few signals from Earth, and it made me a little depressed a bit. And I thought that I think I'm going to call this a new series. I'm going to call it "Tell It Like It Is." So in between episodes, now and again, I'm just going to jump up here in my console as I hover across Earth or some other beautiful planet, and we're just going to talk about how can we think better, how can we respect each other better, and make us more aware of when powers that be out there are trying to keep us down or trying to polarize us, and how we can think beyond and outside of this so that we can become a more enlightened species. Love you, everybody. I'll see you next episode.